Now we come to the complex permanent tissues. Okay. Now complex permanent tissue, these are made up of more than one type of cells and they work together as a unit. In simple permanent tissue we saw only one type of cells, but here we'll see more than one type of cells and they will work together as a unit. So two types of complex permanent tissues are there. One is the xylem and other is the phloem. See, here you can see the diagram. Xylem is there for the transportation of water, and it is the coordinated mechanism of the four tissues which work for the conduction of water, and similarly in phloem. So when you take the TS of any plant or tissue, this one is the xylem and this one is the phloem, and this is the epidermis. Okay. And thick walled cell will also be present, which will help to get the mechanical strength to the stem. Okay, the plant is not having any bones and muscles, but still it is able to stand still and so strong in every weather. So it is because of the presence of the tissues which provide mechanical support to the plant. Okay, and these are the thin walled parenchyma cells. Okay, here you can say this is the xylem part and this is the cambium. You will see what is cambium, we'll see later, and this is the phloem. Okay, so what are the permanent tissues? Permanent tissue and impermanent tissue. What are the permanent tissue? We already learned that permanent tissue are of two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Permanent tissue has already acquired certain function and they don't have any division capacity, and in that we learned simple permanent tissues which were having only simple permanent tissue were having only one type of cell, and complex permanent tissue will have more than one type of cell, and all these cells will come together and they will function as a unit. So complex permanent tissue are of two types, that is xylem and phloem. Okay, now we come to the xylem. Now it functions as a conducting tissue for water and minerals from roots to the stem and leaves. It provides mechanical strength to the plant parts, and it is composed of four elements, that is tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma. Okay, these are the tracheids, these are the parenchyma cells which will be present in every plant. These are the vessel elements with perforations or the perforation plate. Okay, and these are the tracheids which will form a tube-like structure. Okay, so when we talk about xylem, it functions as a conducting tissue for water and minerals from roots to the stem and leaves, and it provides mechanical strength to the plant parts, and it is composed of four elements, that is tracheid, vessels, xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma. Okay, so now we'll talk about the tracheids in xylem. So tracheids are the elongated tubes with dead cells and with thick and lignified walls and tapering ends. Protoplasm is absent in them because they are dead cells. The inner layers of the cell walls have thickenings which vary in form, and in flowering plants, tracheids and vessel are the main transporting elements. Okay, so in this diagram you can see the tube-like structures which are formed are the tracheids. These are the xylem vessels, these are the xylem fibers, and this is the xylem parenchyma. Specifically, when you see the diagram of the tracheids, it will be these tube-like structures, and these are of various forms. Here the tissue is in this form, ring form. Here it is formed in the form of pits. Okay, and this is the tube formation here. Okay, these are the vessels here. Okay, so and these both are the tracheids. So tracheids are the elongated tube-like dead cells with thick and lignified walls and tapering ends. As we know that they are having thick and lignified walls, they will also provide support to the stem. Now protoplasm, stem or root, protoplasm will be absent. Okay, because they are dead cells, so protoplasm will be absent. The inner layers of the cell walls have thickenings which vary in form, and in flowering plants, tracheids and vessel are the main water transporting elements. Okay, now what is protoplasm? Protoplasm is nothing but cytoplasm plus nucleoplasm. Okay, now when we talk about vessel, it is a long cylindrical tube. See here, you can see the particular and very notable formation of tube-like structure, which is made up of many vessel members, each with lignified walls and large central cavity. Protoplasm here also is absent. Vessel members are interconnected through perforations in their common walls. Okay, other vessel member will be connected here with the help of these perforations, and water will be transported because of these perforations. Okay, and the vessels are the characteristic feature of angiosperm. These vessels are only found in angiosperms, and gymnosperms don't have vessels. Okay, this we have already seen in the chapter. That was the plant kingdom. Okay, so this can be a difference between a gymnosperm and an angiosperm. Okay, so when we talk about vessel, it is a long cylindrical tube-like structure made up of many cells, that is the vessel members, each with lignified walls and a large central cavity. Protoplasm is absent. Vessel members are interconnected through perforations in their common walls, and the vessels are a characteristic feature of angiosperm, and gymnosperm lack vessels. Okay. Now the xylem fibers. Okay. They have highly thickened walls and obliterated central lumens. Okay, and they are septate. They can be septate or they can be aseptate. These are fibers. Okay, they will only provide strength. So you can see here in the diagram, these are the fibers, and they have highly thickened walls and nothing there except this thickened lignin present in them, and they can be septate or aseptate. Septate means there will be bifurcation. You can see here in the diagram. This is the septate part. You can see here septa like this, and here it is continuous. Okay, so they can be septate as well as aseptate. Now when we come to the xylem parenchyma, parenchyma means living cells. Okay, somewhat photosynthesis and somewhat food should be formed in a particular tissue. So this is done by the xylem parenchyma. These are living and thin-walled cells with cellulosic cell walls. They store food materials like starch and fat and other substances like tannins, and radial conduction of water takes place by the ray parenchymatous cells. And radial conduction, in the radius form, the conduction of water will take place by the ray florets. Okay, ray parenchymatous cell, we call them as ray florets also. Okay, so xylem parenchyma, you can see here that all the other three tissues, which was trachea, vessel and xylem fibers, were dead, but only xylem parenchyma is living in the xylem. Okay, now we come to the second complex permanent. Now what is xylem? There are two types of xylem present. That is the first formed primary xylem, that is the protoxylem, and the metaxylem. Okay, so you can see here in the diagram, this is the protoxylem and this is the metaxylem. The metaxylem has matured and grown in size, and protoxylem are the small things. Okay, so primary xylem is two types, that is protoxylem and the metaxylem. Now in stems, protoxylem lies toward this is the characteristic feature of a stem, and we'll learn this afterwards. Okay, in stems protoxylem lies towards the center pith and metaxylem towards the periphery. This type of primary xylem is called endark. Okay, this is a particular characteristics of the stem part, that the protoxylem will be present at the center and metaxylem will be present at the periphery, and this is a endark condition. In roots, the protoxylem will lie towards the periphery and metaxylem lies towards the center, and this type of primary xylem is called exarch. Okay, you can see here in the diagram, this is the metaxylem and this is the protoxylem when we are talking about stem. So it is an endark condition, and when we talk about root, we'll see that metaxylem is present at the center and protoxylem at the periphery. So this is the exarch condition. Okay, this we'll learn when we learn about the anatomy of the stem. Okay, now we come to the phloem, that is the complex permanent tissue. Now we all know that phloem is used for the transportation of food, so it transports food materials and materials from leaves to other parts. Okay, now in angiosperm, phloem is composed of seed tube elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Now gymnosperms have albuminous cells and sieve cells, and they lack sieve tubes and companion cells. Okay, in gymnosperms you will find albuminous cells and sieve cells, and they will lack sieve tubes and companion cells. Okay, so this you can see, this is the sieve tube element. Okay, this is the companion cell, this is the nucleus, and this is the sieve plate. Okay, this we'll see here, and this is the florin parenchyma. Okay, so phloem is made up of 4 elements, that is sieve tube elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Okay, so first the sieve tube elements. So these are long tube-like structures arranged longitudinally and are associated with companion cells. Their end walls are perforated to form the plates. Okay, a mature sieve element has a peripheral cytoplasm and a large vacuole but lacks nucleus, and the function of the sieve tubes are controlled by the nucleus of the companion cell. Okay, see, this is the companion cell, that is the pink, and this is the sieve tube elements. Now sieve tube elements are perforated at the end with the help of the perforated plates. You can see here, this is the plate and perforations are there here. Okay, and it is made up of cytoplasm, large vacuole, but nucleus is not there. So the companion cell nucleus will control the functioning of this sieve tube. Okay, so you have to remember here, the functions of the sieve tubes are controlled by the nucleus of the companion cell. Okay, now the first formed primary phloem, that is protophlloem, consists of a narrow sieve tubes, and the later formed phloem, metaphyllum, has bigger sieve tube. So you were able to see in the diagram, the protophlloem will be smaller and metaphyllum will be larger, and it is used for the conduction of food materials from the leaf. Now the companion cells. Now what are the companion cells? Companion cells are the specialized parenchymatous cells other than the phloem parenchyma, which are associated with sieve tube elements. Sieve tube elements and the companion cells are connected by a pit fields present between their common longitudinal walls, and their function is to maintain pressure gradient in the sieve tubes. Okay, they will maintain the flow of water and pressure gradient, as that pressure will not be developed as much. Okay, and in the conduction of food, for conduction of food, which pressure gradient is required and how much it is required, this all will be monitored by the companion cells. So this is the sieve tube element, you can see here in the diagram. This is the phloem parenchyma, this is the pink one is the companion cell, and all the functioning of this will be carried out by the sieve tube element will be carried out by the companion cell. Okay, you can see here, this is the companion cell, and these are the sieve tube elements, and this is the end plate. Okay, now comes the phloem parenchyma. It is made up of elongated tapering cylindrical cells which have dense cytoplasm. Okay, here you can see here, these are the phloem parenchyma. The cell wall is composed of cellulose and has pits through which plasmodesmatal connections between the cells will arise. Phloem parenchyma is absent in most part of the monocots, and function is to store food material and other substances like resin, latex, and mucilage. Wherever parenchyma will come, there will be storage of food material. You have to remember that. Okay, so these the cell walls of these parenchyma will be connected with the help of plasmodesmatal connections. Okay, these connections are, this is a cell. Okay, I'll draw it again. Suppose this is a cell, so like this connections will be there between the cell, where the intercellular communication will be there, and these are nothing but the plasmodesmata. Okay, so phloem parenchyma is made up of elongated tapering cylindrical cells which have dense cytoplasm and nucleus. The cell wall is composed of cellulose and has pits through which plasmodesmatal connections are there between the cells. Phloem parenchyma is absent in most of the monocots, but its function is to store food material and other substances like resin, latex, and mucilage. Now comes the fibers. Now these fibers are made up of sclerenchymatous cells, so it will be having large lignin thickenings. Generally, it is absent in primary phloem. Okay, these are elongated, unbranched, and have pointed needle-like apices. Cell wall is quite thick. At maturity, these fibers lose protoplasm and become dead. Phloem fibers of jute, flax and hemp are used commercially and function as mechanical support and protection of the soft tissue. You can see here, these are the phloem fibers. Okay, this is the diagram of the phloem fiber. So when we talked about xylem, living tissue present was only xylem parenchyma, but when we talk about phloem, dead tissue present is only phloem fibers. So in phloem, all the tissue are living except phloem fibers, and in xylem, all the tissue are dead except xylem parenchyma. Okay, so you have to remember this. So once again, the phloem fibers are made up of sclerenchymatous cells, generally absent in primary phloem. These are elongated, unbranched, and have pointed needle-like apices. Cell wall is quite thick because of the deposition of many thickening material. At majority, these fibers lose protoplasm and become dead. Phloem fibers of jute, flax, and hemp are used commercially, and function is mechanical support and protection of soft tissues. Okay. So this is the plant tissue at glance. When we talk about plant tissue, we saw two tissues, that is meristematic and permanent tissue. In meristematic, we saw three tissues, that is apical, intercalary, and secondary. Okay, and in apical we saw root apical and shoot apical. So in permanent we saw simple, which was made up of only one cell, and complex, which was made up of many cell. And in the complex, in simple we saw parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, and in complex tissue we saw xylem and phloem. Okay, so this was all about the tissue system. Okay, now we'll come across the epidermal, ground tissue system, and the conducting tissue.